Let's start. We don't have much time. So how are you guys doing today? Good. So again, reminder our exam is next week, Tuesday. And I already posted the review sheet on Brightspace. Did you notice that? If you did not, no problem. You should go and see the review sheet. This review sheet is small, only a few questions. And also this time I posted the answer key. So at the end of the review sheet, there's an answer key. So try to do all the questions in the review sheet, and then you can check your answer with the answer key. Hey. عامله فتان عاملهم فتان عاملهم بتحصل فاهمة. Okay. So my plan for today is to going over a few of the multiplication and division question, and then we are going to start addition and subtraction. Based on the addition and subtraction, if you know that oil, then you can do the last section for the exam, which is solving rational equation. So we're going to finish addition and subtraction today, and maybe we'll be able to start solving. Even if we cannot, then we'll do it tomorrow, and your exam will be Tuesday. No. I don't know the name. You are very nice, Kyle. Thank you. On Brightspace, under the review sheet panel, when you go to Brightspace, under the review sheet, on the left panel, it says review sheet. Click on that, and you're going to see exam 3 review sheet. Really? But I did post it. Okay, let me redo it again if it's not posted. That's so weird. So weird. I remember uploading it. Probably I did only in my morning class. Okay, now it's there. The last day to do it tonight by midnight. Even though the due date was Tuesday, but I put extra 2 days in case if you don't do it by Tuesday. And I also graded the first correction. Okay, so let me discuss in class. The test correction, remember I said it's 10% of how much you lost. So if one person didn't take the exam, how much you get? 0, right? So you subtract 0 from 100, you get 100. Now, what is the 10% of 100? 10. That means someone in this class get maximum 10 points for the test correction. Okay? So the point you see on Brightspace, 10 is the maximum someone can get, but definitely you guys didn't get 0, right? So obviously you cannot get 10. You get your points based on how much you lost. So suppose you lost, let me give you an example. Let's say you got 32. So 100 minus 32 is 68. You take the 10%. So times 0.1, you get 6. I give you 7. So you get 7 in the test correction. Plus, if you did that test correction, then you get 3 points. Not test correction, exam reflection. You get 3 extra points. So 7 plus 3 extra, then you can get 10.
So, I'm trying to figure out how many points was it for the first test? Was it out of 100?
Everything I convert into 100% skill.
And then the score on
the exam may be based on 50, 60, 70, doesn't matter. What grade you get is based on 100% skill.
So the one on Brightspace is
100% skill.
But I thought it was like
the exam was less out of 50, but what the grade you see on Brightspace is not out of 50, it's out of 100. So if you get, let's say, 25 out of 50, that means you get 50 out of 100.
So this is 65 out of 100. This is 65.
65, so you subtract 65 minus 100, 100 minus 65, and take the 10% of that. That should be scored. So definitely not all of you can get 10. 10 is the maximum someone can get if they didn't take the exam.
But when you click it, it says different score. Like when you click on the exam score, it says like it says one score, and then when you click it, it says a certain percentage. What it is out of 100.
Whatever I posted, everything is based on 100. I didn't put anything that is not based on 100. Are you talking about the test correction or exam? You're supposed to see one score, not multiple. Whatever you have on your exam paper I returned, that's your score. So yeah, if you see you get 2 points in the test correction, it doesn't mean you didn't do anything wrong. It means you just got 2 points from 10% of how much you lost. That means you didn't lose much. You get a good score in the exam. That's what it means. And also there are few of you I gave only 5% instead of 10. One reason, because you didn't go to the tutor. You worked alone, and in a solution, I still can say wrong. The point behind the test correction is that you learn how to do every question correctly. So if you get them wrong anyway, do you even deserve 10%? So I give 5% to those who did not go to tutors.
So, yeah, if I just do corrections by myself, because I prefer to do with my PTL teacher, but like that's not.
As long as you have someone who can check up on you, then I'm okay. That's why I said either you go to SIG, STAC, or PLTL. So if you have 6 students, then they have your own tutors. If you not a 6 student, that means you can go to SAC for everyone, or you can work with your PLTL. For PLTL, in your class, next time when you get your exam back, just ask them, can you go over the exam? Or after the exam, if you remember all the questions, just give them the question and they'll go over the question. I should actually put the due date Friday instead of, it doesn't even help you because you have a PLTL after class. For my morning class, they have their PLTL before class. But for you, it's after class anyway. Oh, it doesn't matter because the due date is 12 midnight. So yeah, for exam 3, there won't be any test correction. For exam 4 and 5, if I give you any test correction, then I'll do it Friday midnight. So you have your PLTL to work with. It's tonight midnight. So yeah, if you do it by yourself, you get 5%. If you do it a tutor, you get 10%. Okay, so let's start. We wasted 15 minutes for nothing. Why is everyone? Come on. Oh, today is Thursday. They have club hours probably. You know, we're not supposed to have club hours during club hours. Our club hours should be from 12 to 2 or 12:30 to 2:30. But we have a class. That is so weird. But anyway, so multiplication. Do you remember the steps for multiplication? What are the steps for multiplication? Anyone? Step 1. Factor. Step 1, factor. What is our step 2? Once you factor everything, what do you do with your factors? You don't multiply them. What is our goal? After factoring, what do you do?
Remove common factor.
Cancel. Cancel common factor. And once you cancel everything, what's the last thing we do? Rewrite. Good job. So when you solve any type of question, if you write down the steps, that would make your life much easier, trust me. So try to write down the steps for most of the questions you solve. Okay, so let me pick volunteer. J, the first one, the top left. 2 numbers multiplied to 35 combined to 2. $35 is not divisible by 15. When you see 35, what number comes in your mind? No, 35 is an odd number. You cannot divide by 6. In 35, there is one number you see. What do you see? 5. 35 is a 5, so definitely divisible by 5. So you have to do 7 and 5. Tell me the sign, Nicholas. 7 has to be negative, then 5 has to be? Good job. Kyle, the denominator. Five and 3. Now decide the sign. Good job. So you deserve your point in the exam. I noticed you did very well in the factoring. So I was like, really cool. Yeah. Your first page was remarkable. You got, yeah. And most of the factoring you got right? If I'm not wrong. It's like, wow. Did he really do it or did he cheat? I was thinking that. But you lived up to your papers. Great. Christopher, right? Christopher, 2 times which method? Difference of perfect square. Great. So what two factors we get here? X plus 4, x minus 4. Great. Another Nicholas, the denominator. Multiply to 28, combine to 3. 7 and 4. What sign 7 must have? Negative. Great. So if you want to get 3 from 7, are you going to have same sign or different sign? Plus 4. Same sign means you're adding, different sign means you're subtracting. No, the order doesn't matter, but you have to keep your sign correct. So we are done with factoring. Now, who wants to have fun in cancellation? Mora.
X minus 7 in both sides.
X minus 7, X minus 7.
X plus 5.
X plus 5, X plus 5.
X plus 4.
X plus 4, X plus 4. So what is left?
So the result is in the top X minus 4 and in the bottom
X plus 3. That's it. Factor, cancel, rewrite.
When you first started problem, x squared minus 2x minus 35, that's the AC method, right? No?
We use AC method when you have an A here. There is no A here, or A is 1. No, it's direct factoring. Direct factoring. So all three things we see, all of them are direct factoring. So AC method to multiply A with the C, and then you do factoring. But in direct, it's go straight and then factor. Okay, the next one, division. So let's write down the steps. Who remember the steps for division? Nicholas, I. Do it in the second step. It's better to do factoring first. Factor, keep, change, flip. And then what do you do? Before you rewrite, what do? You have to have fun. Cancel. Cancel. And then we rewrite. So 4 steps. You can change, keep, change, flip, and factoring, both of them. But I would recommend do the factoring first. Why? Because later we are going to do complex fraction. That time, if you try doing keep, change, flip, you're going to do everything wrong. So that's why I try to have the habit of doing factoring first and then keep, change, flip. Okay, now let's see. RST. 2 times on the left top. What do you do? GCF. So do you take only X out? X squared, great. So what is left? Plus 4. Perfect. Raj, would you like to do the denominator on the left? Multiply to 32, combine to 8. Good. 8 and 4. Now decide the sign. Perfect. 8 has to be positive because the middle sign is positive. So now if you want to get 4 from 8, you have to subtract. Then we keep our division. And again, let's see. Ricardo, no phone. 2 terms on the right left. On the right left, what I'm saying. Right top. Which method? Here. Is 24 a perfect square? Then you can use difference of perfect squares. So which method you have to use? GCF. So what is your GCF here? Between 3 and 24, can you take out anything? 3 and 24 both are divisible by which number? Definitely by 3. And between x square and x, which one is your GCF? No, you have to pull out a variable. You have variable x square and x. So what's the common factor between x square and x? X square means you have 2 of them. X means you have 1 of them. X. So definitely they both have 1 of them. So our GCF is 1x. 1 of them. Okay, so once we factor this out, what is left? X and then? Good, -8. Perfect. Rana, would you like to do the denominator? 2 terms, which method? GCF or perfect square? Difference of perfect square. So what factors we get? X plus 8, x minus 8. So we are done with factoring. And then we do keep, change, flip. We are going to keep this. We are going to change the division into multiplication. And we will flip whatever we have after the division. So x squared, x plus 4, and then x plus 8, x minus 4. The division suddenly turn into a multiplication. And then we flip x plus 8, x minus 8 on the numerator. Denominator is 3x and x minus 8. So keep, change, flip is done. Now, who would like to have fun? Nicholas. X minus 8. X plus 8, x plus 8. How about this x and this x square? And what is left after the cancellation? Yeah, but x square and x, when you cancel them, where on the numerator or denominator? Numerator. We have x square, you cancel x, you get x on the top. So x plus 4 on the numerator. 3 and x minus 4. Naya, a question or what? Did you raise your hand? So we canceled, we rewrote. One more. X cube has nothing to do, we keep it. Christina, would you like to do the denominator? 5 times 1 is 5, but you're looking for 6, not 5. 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 minus 1 is 5, but give me their sign. 6 is negative, 1 is positive. So if you multiply them, you're supposed to get negative 6. But what do you have? We have positive 6. Negative 6 minus 1 going to give you negative 7, but we have negative 5. That means 6 and 1 not going to work. What are the choices you have? 6 is 1 times 6, but it doesn't work. How about the other factors? What other factors do you have for 6? 3 and 2. So between 3 and 2, what sign they have to have? Negative 3, positive 2 is negative 1. But you're looking for what? Negative 5, right? So what sign 2 has to have if you want to get negative 5 here? Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 5, or negative 2 minus 2 is negative 5. Which one? Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 5, or negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. And what sign 2 has to have? If you're positive, that means you have two different signs, means you're going to subtract them. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 not going to work. You're looking for 5, not 1. If you have same sign, you keep the sign, but you add the number. So that means here we have to have 3 and 2. They have to have the same sign. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6 works. And negative 3 minus 2, we have same sign. So keep the sign, but you actually add the numbers. Okay, so we are done at the left side. Now the right side. We need more space. Who would like to try Nayari? GCF is x to the 4. So you factor out x to the 4. And what do you have? X squared plus x minus 6. Ah, this is more factorable. So what factors you get? X plus 3, x minus 2. So 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 works. And 3 minus 2 is 1 work. Great. So see, sometimes it's double factorable. So we have, let me do it here. We have x to the 6 plus x to the 5 minus 6x to the 4. The first thing we notice is that we have a GCF x to the 4. So x to the 4, if factor out, you get x squared plus x minus 6. But this is more factorable. It's a quadratic. So you keep your GCF, but you factor this more. Two numbers multiply to negative 6, combine to 1. Anytime you want to combine to 1, that means you're looking for two consecutive numbers. So if you split 6, you have 1 and 6, they're not consecutive, so definitely they're not going to work. Then you have 2 and 3, these are consecutive, so your answer is 3 and 2. We have 3 in the middle, plus in the middle, so 3 must get plus. And if you want to get 1, you have to subtract 2 from 3. So these three things is our factor for the numerator. Now for the denominator, Justin, 2 terms. How do you factor?
would be like.
Is it DCF or difference of perfect square? Which one? Difference of perfect square. X plus 3, x minus 3. So we did factoring. Now we are going to do keep, change, flip. So who would like to tell me what do you have for keep, change, flip? Nayari. Mm-hmm. 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 Perfect. And now who would like to have fun? Justin. X plus 3. But x minus 2, they're on the same level. You cannot cancel something, they're on the same level. X cube and x4, we get x. X minus 3, x minus 3. X minus 2 square. Anything else? Really? What happens to this x? Oops. So you have x minus 2, one of them here, two of them here on the denominator. There is no 0 in division or multiplication. If you don't say anything, you have a 1 on the numerator, always. No, if you have a denominator, you have to have something on the numerator. The denominator one can be invisible, but the numerator must be visible. Yeah, but if you have the same thing, isn't it better to just use a square? It's not wrong, but it's long. It's not wrong, but it's long. Huh? Yeah. So this is our last division. So in the exam, we are going to have multiplication, division, and today we are going to start addition and subtraction. For addition and subtraction, the main thing you need is same denominator. So if you don't have same denominator, first step is always have the same denominator. To have the same denominator, you're going to use something called equivalent expression. It means two things you see, they are same thing. For example, 1/2 is same as 2/4. We call them equivalent expression. How 1/2 is same as 2/4? How? Because if you divide the second one by 2, you get the first one. Or if you multiply this by 2, you get the second one. So they look different, 1/2 and 2/4, but actually they are same thing. They just look different. Now let's do a few examples with the equivalent expression. 3/5 is same as what 10th? If you compare 5 and 10, what can you multiply 5 by to get the 10? That means you also have to multiply the numerator. So if you multiply the numerator by 10, what is numerator by 2? What is supposed to have in this blank? 6. That means 3/5 and 6/10 are same. They just look different, but they're same. Same thing happens in the expression, in the variable. We have 1/a. This is same as what over a square? Are you sure? So you need to multiply by a Both of them.
Okay, okay.
So definitely not 1, it should be A.
No.
Lost on where? You observe same side, and then you compare them. What can you do on one side to get the other side? So on one side you have A, on the other side you have A square. What can you do with this A so that it will turn into A square? The only allowed thing is multiplication. That's it. Multiply by what? Multiply by A. So you multiply by A on the denominator, but math is fair. If you do something on one side, you have to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we did multiplication on denominator. Math says, hey, don't left the numerator. Multiply the numerator by the same thing. So you have to multiply A by 1 by A. So that means this A square, so 1 over A is same as A over A square. They're equivalent. They just look different, but they're equivalent. They're same. So you have A, you want to convert this into A to the 4. What can you multiply by? You need to multiply by 3, right? So the denominator, you multiply by a 3. So what goes here on this blank? B a cube or a cube B? A. It will go on A, not on B. Because if you want to get from A to the 4, you have to multiply by a cube. So multiply numerator and denominator. The denominator becomes a cube B.
So understand, I mean, it's an individual values that A cube and B.
A cube B is a multiplication, A cube times B. So it's one thing, the product of A cube B. This is the baby thing, like how you get equivalent expression. I do. Okay, now two more. If you compare this first denominator with the second denominator, what can you multiply the first denominator by to make it into second denominator? 2 and B. If you multiply by A, it will turn into a cube. So you don't have 2 cube. So we need to multiply the denominator by 2B, and it will turn into the second denominator. But math says, hey, you cannot just multiply the denominator. Do it same thing on the numerator. So you multiply this by 2B. Good job. Now you got it, right? Equivalent expression. The last one, Justin.
Negative 2R plus 26. And you're going to take out 2.
So you're multiplying by 2. So negative 2y plus 26. Yep. If you compare the denominator, we have 35x squared and 20. 35 will turn into 70 if you multiply by 2. 20 will turn into 40 if you multiply by 2. So basically, if you multiply the first denominator by 2, we'll get the second denominator. So that's why we need to multiply the first numerator by 2, and that's going to give us our second numerator. Now, the addition subtraction is built upon this knowledge. We need to make equivalent expression from whatever is given, and then we add or subtract based on the sign given to us. Any question? Now I'm going to flip my page a few times. And we are going to start a concept called LCD. All right. LCD, lowest common denominator, or least common denominator. So when we add or subtract, we always look for LCD. If we have the same denominator, our life is easy. If you don't have the same denominator, use the equivalent expression. So we start with some numbers. Do we have the same denominator in our first question? So we keep our denominator and we combine our numerators. Our first numerator is 2, our combination is the plus, and second numerator is 5. So we do 2 plus 5. What do we get? 7/3. Can we divide 7 by 3 evenly? So you stop. You don't need decimal, you just stop.
We could always leave it like that. If it's like
If it's not simplificable, you But if it was 9/3, then what do you have to do? 3.
So what we have to, what, that's an improper fact.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No. In this class, our goal is to learn how to add or subtract fraction, not proper, improper. We don't care. In the second rational, do we have the same denominator? So our life is simple. We write the same denominator once, and we combine what we have. So first numerator is this, 2x minus 10, good. So we have x plus 3 plus x minus 13. That gives us 2x minus 10 over x plus 5. Now, should we stop or should we keep going on? We have to keep going on. Why? Numerator is factorable. What can you factor in the numerator? No, 10 doesn't have any x. So you can factor out 2, then what do you get? 5. And we have x minus 5 on the denominator. So it is x minus 5, my mistake. From the beginning, we have x minus 5. We never had x plus 5. Why did we have x plus 5? Down. Should we stop or should we keep going on? Cancel. Anytime something is cancelable, you have to cancel. So what is our final answer? 2/1, which is 2. So see, sometimes all life is easy. Once you combine, you stop. But sometimes life is a little bit harder because you have things keep coming up, coming in and in and in.
How do you get that 2? So how can you cancel out the 2? You cancel out x and
We cannot cancel 2. We have 2x and 10. Do you see any DCF here?
no.
You do, because 2 and 10.
But what of the x?
This one doesn't have any x. Between 2 and 10, you have only 2 in common.
So let's say the 2 with the 10. You take out the 10, negative 10, negative 1. Oh,
If you had 10x minus 10, then what is your GCF?
like 2x, right? So between 2x and 10, the GCF there is 2 because 2 can go into 2x and 2 can also go into 10.
So Dustin, if you had 10x minus 10, what is your GCF this time?
You can divide 2 by 2x and you left the x. Two x divided by two is just x.
Between 2 and 10, what number, do you have any number that is, you can divide both by 2 and both by 10? It's 2, right? 2 is divisible by 2 and 10 is also divisible by 2. So you have 10x minus 10. What is your DCF? Good.
You want it as like it's just one solid number.
And then whatever you factor, you just divide the rest to see what is remaining. What is remaining after the cancellation. One more. There are two, but I'm going to skip this and do the bottom one. Do we have the same denominator? So anytime you see a polynomial, it's better to factor. Can you factor this polynomial? Multiply to 40. 10 and 40, if you add, you don't get 13. 5 and 8. 8 times 5 is 40. And whatever the sign. 8 must be positive because of the middle sign. That means if you want to get 5, you have to add 5. So x plus 8, x minus 5, plus 5. So on the last few example, we didn't have any big polynomial that is factorable. But now we have a polynomial that is factorable, so we factor. And since we have the same denominator, we keep the same denominator once. X plus 8, x minus 8. And this time we are not adding anymore. We are doing what? Subtracting. And anytime you subtract anything, you have to change the sign. So the 5x will turn into minus, the 6 will turn into plus. For addition, we do not change sign. For subtraction, you must change sign. So we have 6x plus 2. Great. And you're subtracting the second one. So minus 5x plus 6. Just change the sign for the second numerator. Why? Because of this. And then what? X plus 8, right? So do we stop now? So what is left? Where, on the numerator or on the denominator?
So one over.
Good. We have x minus 8, but not on the top like the last one. The 2 was on the numerator, so we didn't use any 1. But now our answer is on the denominator. So we must make this one visible. Christian.
Make x plus a and x minus b.
Because I made a mistake, it should be a 5. What's wrong with me? Come on. Something is wrong with me. It should be x plus 5. So in the exam, I'm going to give you one of these in where you have same denominator, combine them, simplify them. But our life will always not be so easy. If you don't have the same denominator, here comes our hardship. Make it same. So now you have to learn how to make them same. So this concept is called LCD. Now LCD, it sounds hard, but actually it's easy if you remember one thing. Try dividing the bigger term by the smaller term. if you can divide, then LCD is the bigger one. But if you cannot divide, then LCD is their product. My handwriting is so bad because I feel lazy to write. That's the rule. Try divide the bigger one by the smaller one. If you can divide, then say the bigger one. If you cannot divide, then multiply. For example, between 2 and 3, can you divide 3 by 2? So what is our LCD? 3 times 2, 6. No, LCD has to be whole. Between 3 or 4, can you divide 4 by 2? So what is our LCD? If you can divide, what is our LCD? Bigger one. So if you divide 4 by 2, what is our LCD? 4. LCD must be big, something big. Factor is small. If you try to factor out something, you look for which one is small. But if you're looking for LCD, you're looking for which one is big.
Right. So if Y can't divide, then L.
If you can, oh, I meant you.
If you can divide, then LCD is their product.
For example, 3 and 2. Can you divide 3 by 2? No. So you multiply them. That's the LCD. But can you divide 4 by 2? Yes. So LCD is big one. And how about you combine 2, 3, and 4? So you look at the even first. Can you divide 4 by 2? Yes, so the answer is 4. And then if you compare 3 and 4, can you divide 4 by 3? So you just multiply them. What is 3 and 4? 12. So if you have multiple numbers, you combine odd with odd, even with even, and see which one makes sense, which one gives you. For example, the last one is 3, 4, and 5. Our odd is 3 and 5. So can you divide 5 by 3? No. So what is the LCD between 5 and 3? 5 times 3, 15. And then you compare 4 and 15. Can you divide 15 by 4? So if you multiply 15 and 4, the answer is 60.
Wait, it's
60 is the smallest number.
Oh, I'm crazy. Yeah.
If you have multiple numbers, work with all the odds and all the evens, and then see which one you can multiply. If you can multiply, the bigger one is the answer. If you cannot multiply, their product is the answer. Let me do it again for another one. Let's say we have 5, 6, and let's say 8. Now 6 and 8, they're even, right? Does it work? Let's see. We cannot divide 8 by 6. But if you multiply, we can simplify, right? If you cannot divide, look for if you simplify them. If you simplify them, what do you get? Both of them are divisible by 2. Both of them are divisible by 2, right? So you get 4 and 3. 3, 4, and 12. It doesn't work. No, simplifying doesn't work. But 4 and 20, 8 and 6, the lowest one is 24. How can I get 24 from there? The LCD is 24. But if you multiply 8 and 6, you get 48. So what rule you can apply? If you simplify them, we get 4 and 3, which is 12, but it doesn't work. So my method doesn't always work.
Then we just have to like keep going, trying to figure out.
Then we have another method. No problem. Second method is more reliable, but it takes longer. Come on. Okay, the second method. Let me show you the second method. So usually this one works for smaller numbers. Okay. The method I showed you, multiplication and division, it works for smaller numbers. But for 6 and 8, so second method of LCD. Between 6 and 8, which one is bigger? So let's write down the timetable for 8. 8 times 8 is 1. 8 times 2 is 16. Can you divide 16 by 6? No. So keep going on. What is 8 times 3? Can you divide 24 by 6? So you stop. Take the timetable for the bigger one and see if the smaller one is divisible by that. If it is, that's the answer. If it is not, keep going on until you get an answer. So between 6 and 8, our LCD is 24. Now you compare 5 and 24. Can you divide 24 by 5? Can you reduce them? That means your LCD is 24 times 5, whatever that is. It's a big number, whatever that is. That's your LCD. So you take two numbers, compare them. And then you take the third number, compare them. But in this class, you're not going to see something harder. You're going to see something like these baby things. Okay. Now that's how we work with numbers. For variables, it's simple. Remember I said LCD means big. So among x, x squared, and x cubed, which one is big? Which one is the biggest? So LCD is x cubed. That's it. For variable, we don't have to do any math. It just look at the biggest one, that's the LCD. Now between x and y, is there anyone big, anyone small? So it's combination x, y. How about x, x squared, y squared? Good job. For x and x squared, it's x squared. Y and y squared, it's y squared. So you multiply them, you get x squared, y squared. Now, what if we combine them, variable and number? What is the LCD between 3x? 3x, good. They have nothing in common, so we multiply them. And how about 3x, 4y? 3 and 4, we cannot divide 4 by 3, so we multiply them. You get 12. X and y, none of them are bigger or smaller, so you take both of them. And how about the next one? We have x plus 2. Can you divide x plus 2 by x evenly? No, because 2 doesn't have any x. So not divisible, not possible. That means what is LCD? You don't have to distribute, just keep both of them. We don't have to distribute because our goal is like this, at the end, to cancel them. If you distribute, then you cannot cancel. Kelly? Because for variable, If you cannot divide, you multiply them. That's the rule. If you can divide, then the bigger one is the answer. For example, if you have x squared, x cubed, and x, you can divide all of them by x. The biggest one is this one. So this is your answer, x cubed. But if you cannot divide, then you have to multiply them. X plus y, x minus y. What's the LCD? Can you divide x plus y by x minus y, or x minus y by x plus y? Can you divide one of them by the other one? We cannot divide them evenly because they have two different signs. Divisible is not possible. So what is our LCD? X plus y, x minus y. Do not distribute them. Your goal is to cancel at the end. So do not distribute unless at the end you have to distribute. Keep it. Now the last one. We have x plus y with a square, and we have x plus y alone. Can you divide x plus y square with x plus y? It is possible. So what's the answer? Square, the bigger one. If you can divide, the answer is the bigger one. If you cannot divide, the answer is the product. That's all you have to know for this class. For later or for homework, I think you have to know more. But at least for exam, that's all you have to know. Now let's apply all this knowledge to do some real math. And let me go to the, no, let's do it anyway. No problem, one by one. We have B and 3. What's the LCD between B and 3? 3B, because you cannot divide one by another one. So we know our LCD is 3B. That means we want this 3B on all the denominator. So what is missing on the first denominator? 3. So multiply top and bottom by 3. What is missing on the second denominator? A B. So multiply top and bottom by a B. And now you're happy. We have 3B, 3B, good. So we combine the numerator. What is our first numerator? 3 times 6A. How much you get? 18A. And what is our second numerator? Minus 5B squared. Can you factor out anything? 18 and 5, they have nothing in common. A and B, they have nothing in common. So stop. If you can factor, you factor. If you cannot, leave it alone.
But let's say the negative 5 was negative 6.
Then you could factor out 6. Okay. Between x and x squared, can you divide x squared by x? So what is our LCD? X squared. So you write your LCD down, x squared. Now in the first denominator, we have x, but we want to have x squared. So what do we need to multiply by? X. So do it on both numerator and denominator. We want x squared. Do we have x squared on the second denominator? So we are fine. We don't have to do anything. We only need to do something if you are missing something. If you're already complete, you don't need anything. Now we combine our numerators. What is our first numerator? And then we are adding or subtracting which one? Adding 6. Can we factor out anything? Between 5 and 6, is it anything factorable? So we stop. If it is 5 and 10, then we would factor. But 5 and 6, no. So we have 5x plus 6 and x squared. Mora, can you cancel x with x squared?
Yeah.
Can you cancel this?
Yeah.
At least last time you said no, even the answer was, your reasoning was wrong. But now today you're completely wrong. We definitely cannot cancel. Why not? Because there is a plus. Not cancelable. Anytime you next to you have a plus or minus, it's very strong. It cannot cancel. Okay, so these two are easy, so they will not be in the exam. What will be in the exam is from here. This one is also easy, but what will be in actual exam is this, the next one. Next one. But let's start with the baby one. Can you divide x minus 6 by x evenly? So what is our LCD? X times x minus 6. If you cannot divide, you multiply them. That's the LCD. If you cannot divide, LCD is their THEIR, their product. Okay, so we want to have x and x minus 6 on every denominator. So what is missing in our first denominator? So you multiply numerator and denominator by x minus 6. On the second denominator, what is missing? So you multiply numerator and denominator by x. This one is factorable, it's distributable, so you distribute. What do you get? And then we are adding 9x. And then we have like terms, 9 and 2. 2x plus 9x, how many x we have? 11x minus 12, and we have x minus 6. Can you cancel?
Yeah.
But next to the 6, what do you have? Minus. You cannot cancel. Also, this x has a minus next to that, so you cannot cancel the x. So nothing is cancelable here because they all are strong. We can only cancel in multiplication. And now this is the actual exam question you're going to see. Same concept, but this time we are actually subtracting. So be very careful when you subtract. First, you have to decide what is the LCD. Can you divide x plus 6 by x minus 4? Can you divide x plus 6 by x minus 4? Is it divisible? So we cannot divide. What do you do? Multiply them. No, do not multiply. Put them together. Multiply them means multiply them, but do not distribute. Just multiply them. So we want to have both of them on the same on every denominator. So what is missing on the first denominator? So multiply numerator and denominator by that. And then what is missing in our second denominator? So you multiply numerator and denominator by that. And since you're subtracting, don't forget to change the sign. Anytime you subtract more than one thing, you have to change all the signs. So you distribute here x minus 4, x minus 5, and you're subtracting 7 times x plus 6. So let me do the changing sign, the next step. You cannot cancel. Your goal is to add, subtract, combine. So distribute. X squared minus 5x. And then you have minus 4x. And lastly, minus 4 times minus 5 plus 20. And then you take your negative 7 times x, negative 7x, negative 7 times 6, negative 42. So see, sign changes. Anytime you subtract more than one element, you have to change sign. Do not distribute the denominator unless it's needed. Keep it. And then you combine like terms. We have x squared. Do you see any other x squared on the numerator? So a single x squared. Let me erase that. And then we have minus 5x, minus 4x, and minus 7x. If you combine all of them, what do you get? Minus 16x. And lastly, we have minus 20 and minus 42. Oh, plus 20 minus 42. Negative 22. So we have x plus 6, x plus 4. And then you see if you can factor the numerator. 22 has which factor? 1, 22, and 11 and 2. So 1 plus 22 is 23. 1 minus 22 is 21. But what we are looking for? 16. So this one doesn't work. Now 2 and 10, 2 and 11. If you add them, you get 13. And if you subtract them, you get? Can you get 16 anyhow? So there is nothing to do. We stop.
Yeah, but why would we even try to find it? Because
Sometimes it's factorable. So if it's factorable, you factor, you cancel. Just like we did in the first few examples. See, in these two, once you combine, it's factorable and then cancelable. So you should always check whether something factorable or not, cancelable or not.
On Subtraction, they told me they couldn't give me any numbers.
But you have at least their name, right? Yes, please have their name.
Yeah.
So just put down the names.
Okay. Because she told me because I already done some of them. They couldn't give me an email. So we can do the corrections without that will be better because they give us so many.
Just name is fine. But you should do it with a tutor because without tutor, there are few students already submitted without tutor and few of them are wrong. So if you do it without tutor, you get 5%. If you do it with the tutor, you get 10%.
I have a situation. So I went to I don't know if you got the email from the tutor for me. So I went to them.
Remember, there's so many emails I received.
Okay.
And you can check.
You know, because I went to a tutor. I did so the mistakes I made, like on the first page, I was able to do by myself because I knew it. And every other page I got right. So I went to the tutor, I went to them. I did it though, because I finished the test because I knew what I was doing.
So if you did everything, you can just ask tutor to check them.
I did. And then they said they couldn't do that. So they literally took my test and they said they're gonna email you it. And I'm like, what I need it for today, for like the class. I told them I needed it on Monday because I skipped my other class to go to the tutor to do it because I don't really have time. And I did it and they took the copy of it and they told me they were gonna email you.
Okay. If they did, then they will.
Hopefully, because I don't want to get messed up on this because I did it. And I have a question for one of the questions on my test. I don't have it with me. I got 1 point. It was a 3-point question. I got it right. I went to the tutor and he said there's no other work you could have shown.
If you get 1 point, that means you got one factor and then you didn't have the other two
But they
factors.
told the tutor, this is not me. This is the tutor saying I got the question right. I can show you. I know what question it was. I just don't have the test with me. It was the x. It was to get the answer was x minus 3, and then I think x plus 4, and they said, "Oh, you got it right." If you have the test, I can show you.
Okay, so
On this page, it was this one. I got that one, and I got a x minus 7, x plus 4, and then I only got 1 point for the question.
probably because you didn't show this line.
Oh, you have to show that one?
So from here, how do you get suddenly
I
this?
can explain it to you like perfect. So for here, I know that x5, you got to take out the x5, so then you make it x squared. I mean x squared, and then from the 28 and 3, you know that it's 7 and 4. So I just put x plus 7, x minus 4. I mean x minus 7, x plus 4. I do it in my head, but I know what I'm doing. Like because on that page, I got everything right. I got the whole thing right, but then I lost 2 points for that
Yeah,
question.
because you didn't show us. And I was strict
And I
with
know
that
you're
because
lenient with it 'cause
people were talking all the time there during the exam. So I wanted to see all the work. Otherwise, did you copy from them or did you actually
I
do?
know. I feel like I know what I'm doing. But yeah, all right.
Let's send those kids stuff.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.